French authorities are describing as a likely terrorist attack the killing of 2 women on Sunday in Marseille, which has been claimed by so-called Islamic State. Police sources say the suspect shouted Allahu Akbar, God is greatest in Arabic, before being shot dead by a soldier.
All right, we bring to you some breaking news. These are pictures out of Las Vegas where there is a active shooter situation. Las Vegas authorities are responding again to reports of a mass shooting with multiple victims. This is happening near the Mandalay Bay Resort in Las Vegas. Ambulances have responded on the scene. We're going to bring you updates as we have them.
3 U.S. Special Forces soldiers were killed and 2 more injured yesterday while on a training mission with the military of Niger. The soldiers were Green Berets, reportedly caught in an ambush near the village of Tongo Tongo, not far from the Malian border. Al-Qaeda and Islamic State militants are active in that area. U.S. and French commandos have been training and in some cases fighting alongside local forces around the region.
In Nicaragua, at least 11 people died, 7 others are missing, and thousands had to evacuate their homes due to flooding. In Costa Rica, at least 8 people, including 2 children, were reportedly killed, and another 17 are missing. Disasters triggered by Nate also killed 2 in Honduras and 1 in El Salvador. The storm is now heading toward Mexico's Caribbean resorts and the U.S. Gulf Coast and is expected to make landfall on U.S. soil this weekend. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Nate could strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane by the time it reaches the United States.
All right, this thing just came out of nowhere, so it seems. Over 20,000 have been evacuated as wildfires are tearing through Northern California, including the state's precious wine country. Fox News correspondent Claudia Cowan in Sonoma County, California, with the latest. Holy cow, Claudia, what's the latest here?
You know, Neil, it's going to take many days to assess all the damage from this ferocious and fast-moving wildfire that continues to burn out of control. But all across wine country, Napa and Sonoma County, are scenes like this one. This was an iconic dairy, and you can see it continues to smolder this morning. This is one of more than 1,500 homes and businesses that were destroyed in this inferno that erupted overnight and has now burned more than 60,000 acres. And this is just one fire event. There are 14 major wildfires burning across Northern California, and officials have confirmed 1 fatality at a fire in Mendocino County. That's about 100 miles away. Now, there could be injuries here as well. We just don't know. Cell service is spotty. There is limited internet access, and a lot of people are frantically searching for loved ones. A number of residents have been reported missing. As you mentioned, some 20,000 people have been evacuated, and thousands of firefighters are battling the flames. Again, Neil, this fire continues to burn out of control and has scorched 60,000 acres here in Napa and Sonoma counties. Just a tragedy.
Film producer Harvey Weinstein fired late Sunday from the Weinstein Company, effective immediately. Weinstein had previously taken a voluntary leave of absence following decades of sexual harassment allegations detailed Thursday in a New York Times expose. The board of directors announced his termination Sunday, citing new information about the film mogul's conduct.
They were captured in Afghanistan in 2012, but today American Caitlin Coleman, her Canadian husband Joshua Boyle and their children are free, rescued by the Pakistani military on Wednesday.
They want.
Since this video was recorded, a 3rd child has arrived, all 3 born in captivity. The rescue took place in the Kuram tribal area of Pakistan, close to the Afghan border. The family were being held by a group believed to be the Taliban-allied Haqqani network.
Afghan government.
Coleman and Boyle were captured while backpacking through Afghanistan.
Over in Somalia, the death toll from twin bomb attacks in Mogadishu continues to rise. Saturday's attack marked the deadliest one in the capital since an Islamist insurgency began in the African nation a decade ago. Noah Aram has the details.
The first attack came after a truck packed with explosives blew up in front of the popular Safari Hotel in the heart of the city, which caused the building to collapse. A second vehicle bomb went off in the nearby Medina district shortly after, where 2 people are known to have died. President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo declared 3 days of national mourning and called for donations of blood and funds to victims.
Catalan President Carles Puigdemont and other regional leaders sign a declaration of independence from Spain after his long-awaited speech before Catalonia's parliament. But the move will not be implemented immediately, allowing for talks with the national government in Madrid. The symbolic gesture was welcomed by some lawmakers, but for others it fell short of a unilateral proclamation.
Actually, we're following breaking news overnight as police searching for the shooter after 3 people were killed inside of a Colorado Walmart. And this here, a picture of the suspect. Police say that this man walked into this Walmart north of Denver and opened fire near the cash register. You see the scene as there were so many police officers that responded to this shooting, but it's still unclear at this point as they search for the suspect what led to the gunfire.
Accordingly, it is my pleasure and my honor to announce my nomination of Jerome Powell to be the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. Congratulations. Based on his record, I am confident that Jay has the wisdom and leadership to guide our economy through any challenges that our great economy may face. Jay has earned the respect of members of Congress straight across party lines for each of his appointments to the Fed. The Senate confirmed Jay with strong support from members of both parties. That's unusual. I hope the Senate will swiftly confirm him once again.
The U.S. military launched an airstrike against the al-Shabaab terror group in Somalia for the first time since President Trump eased restrictions on strikes in that region. That's the word from the Pentagon, which estimates 8 militants died in the strike yesterday. Happened about 185 miles south and west of Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia. Al-Shabaab is a terror group affiliated with Al-Qaeda.
At least 27 people are known to have died in Vietnam as a result of Typhoon Damre. It's the 12th major storm to hit the country this year, making landfall on Saturday with winds of up to 90 kilometers an hour, ripping roofs off homes and damaging power lines and trees. 30,000 people have been evacuated and more than 600 homes have collapsed entirely, according to Vietnam's Steering Committee for Disaster Prevention. 22 people are still missing.
Protesters also filled the streets in Los Angeles, taking a public stand against sexual abuse and harassment.
Stop the violence! Stop the rape! Stop the violence! Stop the rape! Rise up for the women of the world! For the women of the world! Rise up!
Some of the voices at the Me Too Survivors March in Hollywood, hundreds calling for an end to sexual misconduct inside America's entertainment industry and beyond. Among them, the activist Tarana Burke, who started the Me Too campaign a decade ago, long before it became the now ubiquitous hashtag.
Rescue efforts are underway on the Iran-Iraq border after a deadly earthquake struck overnight. More than 330 people have been killed, according to Iranian officials. Thousands more have suffered injuries. Iran's western Kermanshah province has been particularly affected. One Iranian aid agency said at least 70,000 people are in need of shelter after their homes were destroyed.
I'm just going to bring you some breaking news now. I'll caveat this is coming from the Reuters news agency, not seeing it anywhere at the moment, but they are quoting the Speaker of the Zimbabwe Parliament saying that President Robert Mugabe has resigned. Now, this comes, of course, as the impeachment proceedings against him get underway in Zimbabwe. He has been in power since independence back in 1980. He is accused of allowing his wife to usurp constitutional power by trying to position her as his successor. The motion to remove him is supported by Mr. Mugabe's own ZANU-PF party.
Extremists bombed and opened fire on a large gathering of worshippers during Friday prayers. Witnesses say armed men drove up to the mosque in 4 off-road vehicles, detonated the explosives, and then shot at survivors as they fled in panic. The town where the attackers struck is in the northern half of Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. Security forces have been battling militants there for years.
Meghan, how are you feeling?
Harry's getting married. After months of speculation, Prince Charles announcing his son, Prince Harry, is engaged to American actress and humanitarian Meghan Markle.
We're thrilled, thank you very much, to both of them. I hope they'll be very happy indeed, is all I can say.
The couple met in July 2016. Harry popped the question last month, according to a statement from Kensington Palace, after months of engagement rumours in the British press. Markle, an American from Southern California, is best known for her role in the USA Network show Suits. Representing the modern generation of royals, experts say Prince Harry and Meghan are a match that simply couldn't have happened a generation ago.
Voluntary euthanasia is set to become legal in Victoria, with the voluntary assisted dying bill passing in the state's upper house after a marathon 28-hour debate. Patients will be subject to stringent psychiatric checks before being given a lethal formula locked in a box to which only they have the key. WA may be next to follow suit. A parliamentary committee due to present its findings next August after a conscience vote will likely follow. Victoria's right to die will only apply to those who've been residents in that state for a year.
Tonight, the ongoing Russia investigation has reached President Trump's innermost circle. Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, says that he is cooperating with the special counsel's probe into possible cooperation between the Trump campaign and the Russian government. Flynn pled guilty to repeatedly lying to the FBI, including making false statements about his December 2016 conversations with Russia's then ambassador to the U.S., Sergei Kislyak.
Jerusalem, the ancient city claimed by three of the world's great religions, now central in a dispute pitting President Trump and Israel's prime minister against most world leaders. The president telling the heads of Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and the Palestinians today he will recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, an unprecedented move breaking with U.S. policy since Israel was created. Despite warnings today from Turkey's President Erdogan, the kings of Jordan and Saudi Arabia, and all of America's NATO allies, that this could kill hopes for Middle East peace.
UN peacekeepers have been working in the Democratic Republic of Congo for nearly 20 years. At dusk on Friday, an armed Ugandan group known as the Allied Democratic Forces launched an ambush in the eastern province of North Kivu. The 3-hour-long attack was at a remote UN base near the town of Beni.
I condemn this attack unequivocally, and these deliberate attacks against UN peacekeepers are unacceptable and constitute a war crime. I call on the DRC authorities to investigate this incident and swiftly bring the perpetrators to justice. There must be no impunity for such assaults here or anywhere else.
They gathered in the cold to turn up the heat on the Federal Communications Commission, hoping to stop the repeal of net neutrality rules that govern internet access.
It's not supposed to be for some people. It's supposed to be for all people.
Critics, including the two Democrats on the commission, say ending net neutrality hurts consumers, claiming the FCC
is handing the keys to the internet, over to a handful of multi-billion-dollar corporations.
Captured on camera, this is the moment the attack began. The first gunman conceals his gun behind his shawl before storming the church's gate. It's locked. A second gunman behind him stumbles and appears to panic as they struggle to get in. He eventually returns and helps the first attacker scale the fence. Inside the complex, the gunmen start firing randomly.
About half of the Sunday service was done when the firing started. It was followed by a blast. Some of the people are dead, the others are injured.
We were all inside the church and the prayer was about to end. When we heard the sound of gunfire, we closed the church doors. There was a female police officer. We brought her inside. Then the gunshots continued for a while. Then there was an explosion which destroyed the church door. The gunfire continued for a long time.
It seems that we have helped the Russians. Vladimir Putin is thanking us. The White House confirming that Putin did phone President Trump. Reports say that was to thank him for the CIA foiling a terrorist plot that apparently was planned to hit the city of St. Petersburg. It seems a group of terrorists, we don't yet know who they are or what group they represent, that they plan to target a cathedral and other busy places during this Christmas season in St. Petersburg, and that the president of Russia has now thanked our CIA.
So we are just now getting pictures of that high-speed Amtrak derailment that we told you about in DuPont, Washington. Take a look at these pictures. It appears that the train, look at that, went off an overpass, and now all southbound lanes of I-5, we are hearing, are shut down due to a train car on the highway. The derailment happened at about 7:30 a.m. local time, so that would be 10:30 a.m. here in the east, maybe about an hour ago. The Washington Department of Transportation shows a train car hanging partway off an overpass and resting on the road. There is no word when it will be back open, that highway, or if anyone was injured. We do not have that news as of yet.
At least 29 people have now been confirmed dead after a fire broke out on Thursday in an 8-story commercial building in central Korea. Flames ripped through the structure that housed a sauna, a gym, and other recreational facilities, and the blaze has been put out, but officials warn the number of casualties is likely to rise.
Flash floods and mudslides brought on by Tropical Storm Tembin. The towns of Tubod and Piagapo on Mindanao Island, the Philippines' second largest, have been devastated. Dozens of homes are destroyed, and rescue workers fear the number of casualties will rise.
We're really on our toes right now, and we're trying to figure out how we can give help to so many people that are really in danger right now.
At the height of the storm, winds of up to 80 kilometers an hour uprooted trees and triggered torrents of mud and rock from a nearby mountain. Volunteers are digging with whatever they can to try and recover bodies. Power cuts and the loss of communication lines have hampered rescue efforts.
Devastating scene of fire and ice in the Bronx. At least 12 people killed, including children, in the deadliest fire in New York City in more than a quarter century. More than 160 firefighters on the scene within minutes. But for some who lived there, it was already too late. Survivors escaped the flames into the freezing night, huddling in the street without coats, some even without shoes. The fire speeding up the stairway, destroying it from the inside. Officials say it was a 3-year-old boy playing with burners on a stove who started the blaze. He and his mother and sister survived, but so many others did not.